Welcome to another exciting episode of SkillUp, career podcast by ZELL, where we connect students with real world insights from industry leaders to help them build their future. And today's episode is gonna be a little exciting. We have with us a tech leader who believes that data should be something like a friend, very conversational, very simple. Meet Mr. Sudhiir Verma, the CEO of Appmocx. Mr. Sudhiir Verma has more than 15 plus years of experience in tech, and today he is here with us to share his journey. So, welcome, Mr. Sudhiir Verma.
Thank you so much, Anjana.
Yes.
Thank you for hosting me.
Yes, we are so glad to have you here with us. So, shall we?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's begin with your journey. So, what really inspired you to begin this journey, and what was your first job at tech?
So, from my childhood itself, I was in a boarding school in Bangalore. And I think it being the IT city or Silicon Valley of India, it always kind of was there in the air of Bangalore. And I definitely could get that vibe always whenever I go through the news. So at that particular time, we used to have Types of India paper, which used to come to our school. And then it always used to have, news about Bangalore in terms of IT, how it is evolving, electronic city coming up, and so on. So I think that is what, computers were new at that particular time. I really liked computers. So in college, I couldn't afford one. However, there was a friend of mine who had computer, and that is how I got kind of excited and into it. I liked it very much, and I thought that this is something where I want to do something in the space. And then when I graduated, I joined my first tech job, which was included Packard. So I was there for almost 9 years, and at the end of it, I decided that yes, I want to do something on my own, though I knew it'll be difficult. However, to while leaving the company, I was a business analyst lead, and I was heading a small team into data automation and transformation. So from a perspective of having the corporate culture and maybe knowledge about how data is being handled, I got it from HP, and I thought it's the right moment for me to start off my journey. Let's take that risk. And that is how my present journey started.
For the listeners who are very fresh to this conversation, can we know what does your company Appmocx really works and what is really happening inside the company?
So Appmocx builds solutions as well as products for customers. We have been building products since almost 8-9 years for our customers who are startups as well as in enterprise. And I think we have gotten a very good hold of how the product works, especially at enterprise level, how business processes work. And we understand these processes. We have built products in supply chain, mainly into digital procurement. And we are now building a solution in Gen AI where you can chat with your data. However, we want to also make sure that we are able to get into the Gen AI space now and be able to cater to the market as well as our existing customers, because everybody wants to adopt Gen AI. However, the gap has to be bridged through, the partners or companies like us. And I think it will also be really nice in case if our younger generation who is coming out of the college is able to kind of skill themselves up for us to be able to kind of give them an opportunity and then deliver solution for our customer.
As you said, what does it mean by chat with your data?
So chat with your data is basically, securely being able to access your data, which is coming from various systems, right? So semi-large and large companies, they mainly operate or they mainly work with business processes as well as systems to follow those business processes. So there are applications called as ERP. You would have heard about SAP, Oracle, and there are other applications like CRM, uh, maybe HR and payroll. So these systems generate a lot of data, correct? And we all would have experienced ChatGPT, where we are able to ask questions and get those answers. However, that data is on internet and the model has been trained on that data.
Right.
When it comes to organization, they want to secure their own data securely, and that is where the concept of chat with your data comes. So here, a database is connected with LLM. Of course, there are different layers in between. And a business user is able to simply ask a question, and the LLM is able to connect to the database, get the information, and answer that question. So it's like rather than going through 5 dashboards or 3 Excel reports and trying to find out where the data is, the user can simply go and chat with the data, interact with the data, and can make faster decisions because data is now available readily. So this is what, chat with your data is all about.
So basically, making data simpler, accessible, faster.
Yes.
How do you think is AI changing the way that companies work today?
So it's a very good question. I think AI will uh, eventually be used in almost all industries eventually. And in some of the business functions where companies are able to use AI, especially generative AI, right? There are different kind of AIs. So if we talk about generative AI, any company's marketing or sales department is already able to use AI tools to generate content. Right now, it has given the power to um any person with creativity to be able to generate images, videos, as well as the text content, right? Yeah. And then maybe you can modify it, you can refine it, and so on. But yes, that is one major use case is what we can see in the industry. The another use case is in terms of document processing, right? So though we say yes, there has been a lot of digital transformation which has happened, there are a lot of industries like maybe in healthcare or manufacturing and other industries where still a lot of paperwork goes
Correct.
through,
Yes.
and then eventually it is translated into either a scanned document or maybe a PDF and things like that. So processing of that data, AI definitely can help in terms of classifying the data. It can help in extracting the information out of the data. It can then provide that information to a user when you want to get answers. Um, Also, it can do certain kind of analysis based on that particular data. We also see in analytical space itself, right? There is a huge scope because so far it was always traditional method of reporting through Excel or using some visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau. Now we see that they have limitation. There are a lot of dashboards in a company which gets made, and eventually they become a siloed kind of data or report. So we see an opportunity where users should be able to interact with data whenever they want, right? And this is where I think AI will come into picture, and we see a lot of scope in analytical space. So I think these are few of the areas where companies are already using AI as a extent.
So, as you mentioned, generative AI is a like top of the town now.
Yes.
So, why are people talking about it right now?
So I think generative AI, the name itself suggests something to be generated, and it took everybody with a surprise in the world when ChatGPT got released. Right? We never expected that we will be able to maybe see or even feel how AI works, correct?
Correct, correct.
And what we saw is when people started interacting with ChatGPT, it kind of, they really liked it. And there was, it became completely viral. But why it is popular is for, few reasons. I think, first of all, it can use data with the help of LLM to generate things. So it can be another data which it's generating. It can be images, it can be videos, it can be text. However, generative AI now can also collaborate with tools. So there are frameworks like AutoGen, Semantic Kernel, and LangChain, LangGraph, where agents are able to use tools which can now call maybe an API. It can trigger some event where an action has to be taken, and it can basically automate uh, your business process in a much efficient way to increase the productivity, right? So I think that is where we see a lot of scope as well as a lot of curiosity from the market, that yes, Gen AI is already solving many problems. What other problems can it solve now?
Can you suggest some AI tools for the students who are the beginners who wants to explore the fields of AI and data science?
Sure, sure. So I think there are some playgrounds. There are, something called as Google Colab. We have Open AI own playground, where you can get a free API access. So it depends as to where do you want to start your journey. Let's say in case if you would like to code and if you are passionate about coding, and you like it, then probably I would suggest you can take help of this playground and try to build a simple kind of chatbot which can consume a data, it can connect with other tools or other systems and maybe solve a smaller problem. Uh, but however, yes, when I say what is important is what problem do you think can be solved? Is that problem real? Does that problem really exist? If that problem exists and if you're trying to solve, I think that becomes something for you to be able to talk about when you actually go into the market for jobs or for any kind of professional courses. For people who are not very comfortable with coding and they still want to do something in AI, I think what you can start with is prompt engineering. So, though it sounds very, very easy that, if I type something to get a particular answer from a chat GPT or an LLM, it would be very simple. However, um, it's quite complex. So prompt engineering is all about how do you get exact data or a better result or a really good result by providing the right input. So it's like a skill, how we used to maybe, write answers for questions, and different people would write those answers differently.
Correct.
But somebody will get good marks whose answer seems to be, kind of interesting or better,
Correct.
right? Or precise. That is how even, the LLM tool works. So, in case if you ask specific and the right questions, you will get a really good output. So, prompt engineering is another way students can start, to learn, use tools to be able to make themselves more productive.
We were talking about the technical skills that the students really want if they want to explore in these fields. So I believe that, see, soft skills also plays an important role, same as this technical skills. So what are the other skills that you feel the students should have or they should really improve if they want to explore this field?
Okay. So I think other skills would be, let's say, in case if again you like coding, you need to have some knowledge about, the programming languages. So one of the language is Python, which is, quite deep rooted into data science and development both, and I think that could be one of the skills. Another would be how system can connect with each other. We call it as integrations, right? So just one small thing may not be able to solve a business problem or a particular problem. However, when you connect various smaller things, right, then collectively they can solve a business challenge, right? So maybe how to integrate, how to kind of talk to other systems or tools, that would be something that you would want to try. Prompt engineering, as I mentioned, definitely everybody has access to ChatGPT. Try to refine your input and see how the output has changed. That is one skill which will be needed when you're developing any solutions as well, right? Uh, Database also becomes very important for a simple reason. AI is all about database, right? Or data. So it consumes data and then it can do magic with the data, right? So it becomes very important for you to be able to understand data and how data works. So I think if that skill may be into, how the database works, how table works, what is primary key, foreign key, maybe fundamentals would be a great option to start your journey with. And with these some of these skills, I think you can move forward. People who are kind of don't want to go get into technical coding kind of domain, what they can do is they can use present systems and tools which are already there, use those tools to find a solution. It could be, there are various automation tools called as something like Zapier, which kind of has so many plugins, and it's very good for people who don't want to code, right? They can use these small plugins kind of, or maybe tools kind of systems, and they can plug them together to solve a business problem. So there are various options, I think, depending on what your passion is. I think communication definitely plays a very important role, not just in your corporate life, but also in your personal life, in terms of how well are you able to express yourself, how well are you able to communicate with other people, with your own family. So definitely it plays a very important role. And it's something which kind of may have to be learned as a skill, because many of us may come from smaller cities, smaller towns, and we may not have that exposure to a very good communication kind of environment, or where English is the first language. So definitely, I would say we should start consuming that content. Let's say, in case if you're very particular about learning English and improving your English, maybe start consuming that content more and more. Plus, talk to others in that particular language. Seek some professional help as training or coaching,
Correct.
where you would be able to upskill
Yeah.
your skills. Yes.
Nowadays, the students will be having a graduation, uh, and they will be having a certification from particular institutes as well. So the employers really love to have them having a hands-on experience like projects or internship or something like that. So my question is, can the students really have some AI projects while they study?
Yes.
Can they build some AI projects?
Definitely. I think it's need of the hour, I would say. And every student should concentrate on building some projects. I would also advise that rather than, copying for the ideas which have been already executed by the senior students or maybe other students and friends, go out in the world, look for challenges, right? There are challenges everywhere. Of course, you will have to identify those challenges, see how something can be done in AI to solve those challenge. Let's say, in case if you're not able to get ideas, right, what best you can do. When we talk about any semi-large or large organization, they run on business functions, business processes, right? So each business function has a lot of business processes, and each business process also have challenges, right? It could be as simple as let's say in HR business function, right? When somebody wants to apply for a leave and they want to get the information, maybe they want a parental leave, right? And they are blessed with somebody is blessed with a baby, and he wants a parental leave, and he wants to find out, okay, how many days of leave is allowed from the company side for me to be able to kind of take it, right? So a typical approach would be he will have to approach an HR, or he will have to go on the portal if that information is available and search through the information and then be able to get the answer, right? However, in case if there is a chatbot which already has this information feeded in, so in LLM technology, we call it as vectorization of the data or embeddings, right? So basically, in case if the information is in an unstructured format or a structured format and it resides either in a database or a document, it can be embedded or vectorized, and this information now can be fed to LLM for people to be able to get answers for, right? So my advice would be to go out there, go on internet, find about what are the various business functions, business processes for each business functions, and what are the challenges which are available online. Can you do something about those challenges as a project? You don't have to be 100% perfect. All it matters is whether you were able to identify the challenge, opportunity, and were you able to do something small to solve that particular challenge. So yes, definitely companies would prefer that. Just not gives them the confidence that, okay, the person has taken care of the studies, but also gives them a confidence that this person would be able to contribute to the organization in terms of productivity, as soon as they join. Of course, there would be a learning phase. Of course, there would be guidance needed. However, it becomes much more easier for the organizations to be able to groom,
Correct.
these talents into a better corporate employee.
Because they can understand that this student has made an effort. Yes, obviously. And also, the LinkedIn profile, that plays an important role, I believe. So, how can students really build their LinkedIn profile so that they want to grow into the tech industry?
So yes, definitely LinkedIn has become a social networking platform for all the corporate uh, crowd, and all the working people. So definitely, it's a important platform. It helps you out to connect with the right people, and it definitely can give you an opportunity to be able to either get a job or change your job. However, personally, what I have seen is there are tips and techniques you would have to use in LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
So making a LinkedIn profile and writing really good stuff about you may just not be enough. There has to be a reason when, let's say, in case if it is a student, right?
Yes, yes.
And student wants to send a friend request to maybe CEO of a company,
Correct.
right? Or maybe a project manager of a company.
Yes.
But when the project manager or CEO of the company receives that request, what comes in their mind? They would say, "Why should I connect to this person?"
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
So there is always some connection which the other person looks for, and that connection matters. So let's say in case if you are getting into AI space, if you are getting into your domain, the first thing would be for you to be able to highlight in case if you have been able to do something in that space, right? And maybe to highlight some content where you have spoken about that space, you have spoken about how you have solved a problem and what you are good at, and maybe have that engagement on a constant basis. Don't just go to LinkedIn profile once, update your profile, and that's it. You need to kind of get involved.
Yes.
You need to get involved uh, within LinkedIn platform to be able to voice your thoughts
Correct.
and be able to come in notice of other people as well.
Yes.
So when you send a request to another person, especially at CXO level, they do want to see where the connection is, whether this person kind of has the same energy or the domain which I have, and that is how it goes. So yes, it definitely will help students. However, it takes a little bit of time. It needs some efforts to be put in, and it has to be done regularly to reap the benefits.
What do you think of AI? Will it replace the jobs or create new job opportunities?
So I think it will not replace the job, but somebody who knows AI might replace that job.
Okay, yes.
So basically, how AI is evolving now is all about productivity. So a person who's learning AI and a person who isn't, of course, as a company or as an organization, people may give more preference to the person who is upskilling him or herself, and they pretty well know that AI tools are helping everyone to increase the productivity. So they would know that, okay, this person can handle tasks more efficiently, can be more productive. You need to see how a mundane work or job or a task can be avoided. So earlier we used to write email, maybe in case if you have to write an email, you would take another around 30 minutes for you to be able to draft an email, go through it multiple times if everything is right or not. But a most common use of ChatGPT, what we have seen, is draft the email for you, right?
That's it.
So now, since I am able to use a tool, right, and I am able to put specific input for the specific output which I want, I can finish that job in 5 to 10 minutes. So there is straight away maybe up to 60-70% of productivity increase, right?
Correct.
Now I can use that time to do something else and good, right? Maybe do good, maybe make good decisions or strategic initiatives I can take, or innovate or contribute however you can. So I think yes, definitely AI is risk for people who don't want to adopt. But if you are ready to adopt, if you are ready to upskill yourself, I think it is going to help you at the end of the day.
You work a lot with Microsoft Tech. So why is it a strong platform for AI?
So Microsoft has a very good infrastructure, and they also provide a lot of free credits for, maybe it can be used by anyone. So it can be a student, it can be a startup. They do provide credits so that you're able to experiment on their platform, right? For our use case, particularly why we like Microsoft is because our enterprise customers, they need security, they need compliances, they need scalability, right? And their own infrastructure also mainly, or most of the time, would be on Microsoft. So this could be on Azure. They would be using Microsoft Office application like Outlook and so on. So they may want a seamless integration between the application that you're developing. Their own systems could be hosted on Microsoft platform. But as a company or as an entrepreneur, what I see is we are here not to reinvent the wheel. Rather, again, making the wheel. Rather, what we can do is we can use the tools and platforms which are available and then build solutions on top of it. Right. So that is where I think a platform becomes very important. I'm not denying that other platforms are not good enough, but they are good. However, there are advantages for your own use case. For personally us, Microsoft has been a very good platform where we are able to use their services, especially Azure OpenAI. So ChatGPT, the parent company, is OpenAI, and Microsoft has heavily invested in OpenAI, right? So, so it becomes very easy for them to provide this as a service at an enterprise level where security is handled, data privacy is maintained, integrations are seamless, and so on. So for that reason, it becomes important for us as we see. Um, However, you don't have to always start with Microsoft platform. You can start with a Google platform as well when you're a student, and eventually, when you maybe land up in a job, And in case if your work demands you need to have maybe something in the Microsoft, that is when you can start learning Microsoft tech.
Is it really important to have this coding experience when you work with data science or AI?
Yes and no, depends on the use cases. So let's say for AI, coding is not always needed. As I earlier highlighted, you can get into prompt engineering, you can use existing AI tools to deliver a better uh, outcome. I'll give you an example. A YouTube video which is made, right? A creator makes it, and that YouTube video can go viral or can have millions of views and millions of subscribers as well, right? But for making the video, the creator would have used a software, maybe let's say Adobe Premiere Pro, or from Apple I think there is Final Cut Pro and things like that. So they would have used some software, right? Now, the person who has developed the software, let's say, for the team who has developed the software, they may not be the right, they may not know how to make a good video which can get millions of likes, right? So you see here, a creator has just used a tool to do something which can either become very popular or reach to a greater audience, right? So if you don't want to code and if you're not in a coding space, it's all right. There is nothing to be worried about and pressurized about, but you may have to figure out what other things can you do. You can use tools to be able to do something good, right? Similarly, let's say in case if you want to build applications in AI, definitely you would need some coding skills in Python. Even in data science, you would need Python or SQL skills based on what kind of uh, database you have and what kind of infrastructure you have. But it's not always necessary to have coding skills for using.
Can you share one experience or one project that you handled at Appmocx, which made you really feel proud?
Yeah, so I think this was almost 6 years back. We were a startup, and it was hardly our initial struggling phase of 2 3 years. So we were building an enterprise application into supply chain, which is for supplier collaboration. Just to give a context, there are various ERP systems where the data is, and that ERP system only is accessed within the organization. So maybe partners, customers don't have access to that information. Okay. At least their own information, like purchase orders or sales orders and things like that. So we built an application for one of our partner company, EF Solutions, and that product got deployed in Coca-Cola India, and it was a proud moment for us in terms of that we were able to match the standards and be able to kind of do that hard work and be able to deliver that application and implement it successfully. I think another such moment for Gen AI has been kind of a good moment for us, because I think every company is trying to figure out how to implement AI solution till a production environment for any of the companies who are ready to do so. And we were also lucky ones where we got an opportunity for a petroleum company to deploy our analysis copilot, which kind of chat with your data and it talks to your database and you're able to get answers. We were able to deploy it recently, a few months back, in production environment, and we soon want to start the phase 2 discussions to take the application forward.
What advice would you like to give to students, especially the ones who are coming from small towns and the ones who are really willing to get into the tech industry?
So I think it's a very good question. I think bigger cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Delhi, they always have their advantages in terms of, uh, the environment is such and the exposure is such that, and the school education system, and even, the parents are working in a corporate culture, and, this exposure gives them an edge. I would say for them to be able to kind of get exposed to different environments, learn various things, and deliver better. Um, this is not a typical scenario in smaller towns.
Correct.
So yes, there are challenges, and there are techniques to solve those challenges as well. So when I joined my boarding school, I still remember I was in sixth, but when I cleared my fifth class, and there was an entrance exam to get into this boarding school. I was also in a small town. At that time, I was in Agra, I think, with my dad in the Air Force Station, and we had to give this written exam. We had to go far and stay there in somebody else's house. I remember at one particular time we even slept at the railway platform, because struggle is always there, right? So I was also from a small town. Yeah. But what matters most is whether you believe in yourself is one, right? And another thing is, how do you surround yourself with, right? So let's say, in case if I am surrounded by with scientists, let's say, right, for let's say 3 to 5 years, and those are the only friends which I have, right? It is quite likely that I may start talking like them, or I myself may get into something which is into science or data sciences, because there are high chances, right? So, and I would be able to understand them, I would be able to talk in their language, and so on, right? So this is very important. So when you want to maybe achieve something and you're in a small town and you have limited options, first thing could be that you surround yourself with what you want to be, right?
Yes.
In case if you want to come in tech, you surround yourself with people who are trying to do something in that town. If that is not enough, once in a while you can come to a bigger city, participate in events, meet people, make friends, go online, ask them for help, ask them for their mentorship, and most of them would be ready to kind of help you as well, right?
Correct.
Another tip would be, in case if you can get a mentor who is already in that space and doing well, matters, and if they are able to mentor you, they can at least guide you as to which parts of those skills you may have to concentrate, and how business challenges are being solved,
Correct.
what industries are doing, what companies are doing, what businesses are doing in order to solve those business challenges, how a corporate culture works, probably, and maybe what to learn and what not to learn, right? Correct. So I think that is the advice which I would try to give any student who is coming from a smaller town. There is no way that you are inferior to anyone. You have the capability. All you need to do is explore it, believe in yourself, and then move forward.
Yes. So, first thing will be standing up for yourself, understanding your strengths and weaknesses, and should have a mind to learn things. Should be open to new things, right? Can you suggest a piece of advice or a tip for a student who wants to start learning AI right now?
Okay. So definitely, maybe rather than just one tip, I would uh, include a few. So first thing would be to, I think, where a lot of Indian students um, lack, or freshers lack, is uh, getting to know the fundamentals, right?
Yes.
So for an example, in case if we talk about AI and we talk about LLM, I think for most of the students, or for most of maybe many other people as well, both would mean same. However, where I see them as, LLM is just a model, a particular model which has been trained in a particular data for a particular purpose, right? Whereas the AI is the whole umbrella of different types of AI, like Gen AI or Vision AI or Translation AI and so on, AI search, where kind of is under this umbrella, right? So fundamentals are very important for you to be aware of. Get into uh, those definitions of uh, the programming language, how AI is, what are the different uh, technologically terms which are used in this kind of space. And that is where you can start and come to know, okay, what does an embedding means? What does it do? Right? What problem does it solve? What is an LLM? Why, some LLMs are of 16 GB and some LLMs are of just 2 GB or 2 gigabytes? What is the reason, right? So these are some of the fundamental questions, though you may not be able to learn everything, but try to learn as much as possible.
Yes, so to the students, especially the ones who are coming from smaller town, you don't have to worry about anything. We just need the confidence to stand up for ourselves and to have a mind to learn new things every day. A small tip or a suggestion so that the students if they want to start learning AI right now, what do you have the suggestion for them?
So I think the simplest way to learn AI would be to first start consuming some content on the AI, because that becomes very important for you to know what AI does and probably what are the various ways you can use AI to either use it or to solve a problem or to increase your productivity, right? So by consuming this content either on YouTube or any other channel, maybe on LinkedIn, it will definitely give you at least, an idea as to how other people are using AI, right? And then based on that, you can definitely get into a specialized area for if a non-technical person or you don't want to code, you can get into, what are the top tools. You can find that out from online. What are the top tools which people are using to increase their productivity? How you can use those tools in your day-to-day life to increase your productivity, and then what challenges they are solving, and can you do something with it to solve problems for others or challenges for others, right? For people in technical space and who would like to code, again, by consuming this content, you would know that what kind of business challenges you can solve by coding, what are the different use cases, how other people are using it, what are the technologies, what are the framework, uh, which backend, which front end, which model, uh, and maybe which model for what use case. So I think all this information you will start learning when you start consuming content. Based on that, then you can start with simple tool like ChatGPT to interact with it, build your prompt engineering skills, and later, in case if you want to get into a tech space where you want to code in something, then you can use OpenAI Playground, which is with few free credits. If you want to explore maybe enterprise kind of platform, Assure also is another option where there are certification courses available readily. Plus, you get some free credits for you to be able to explore something. So I think this would be the easiest way for them to start.
So I'd like to know, see, uh, what do you think of you getting an advice earlier when you start a career? And what do you think if you have got this advice earlier, it could have solved a problem now or somewhere in your future or something like that?
So I think this advice would be, I relate with an example where when we were building the applications or when we started our journey, right, we always had some ideas in mind to do build something for ourselves as a product, right? However, we were always hesitant about it because, ideas are not normally or may not be unique many of the times, and whatever you may think, there could be a solution already available in the market, or what you think could not be a business problem at all in the market, right? What we got to learn and could have helped me earlier, I think, is uh, with our other partners, what we learned is we should develop or co-innovate with a particular customer to make a product or a solution, because customer is the one who faces those challenges every day, right? They know what those challenges are, and they even know how it can be solved, right?
Correct.
They can even guide you there. So maybe co-innovating or developing anything with customer will always and always give you an edge or an advantage rather than doing it solo or in a silo where you have assumed things, thinking that it is a market challenge. However, it may not be, and people may not be ready to pay for that solution, and you may end up spending time and effort in it, realizing that nobody wants to use it, right? So that is one advice which I think and I see, which has helped me now, and which I wish could have been given to me earlier.
What keeps you like motivated and keep learning every day?
Okay. So I think you can say um, one is curiosity. I definitely am curious enough to see what are the business challenges out there and can I do something about it to solve it, right? And that is where we have been building product for the customers, and they have been very happy with our services. So I love solving challenges, and you get to experience that. I think in this kind of environment where you know you get into that enterprise kind of business functions, where there are a lot of challenges which needs to be solved, customers are willing to work with you in order to solve those challenges. So I think that is one thing where I'm always curious to see what are various business challenges and how I can solve them. Second one is, of course, I wanted to work something for uh, myself, right? So a startup journey is not easy. Yes, there are challenges. I have gone through the same challenge. Everybody has gone through those challenges, right?
Yeah.
But then it teaches you a lot. It makes you a very, 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 I think, good uh, person as well as a leader in case in case if you're able to learn a lot, right? So it teaches you a lot of leadership skills, how to handle business, how to handle people, how to handle customers. I think that skill definitely may not be easily kind of uh, learned, because you may not be able to get that exposure in all the domains, right? Either you may be a customer account manager, or you may be a developer, or you may be just a business leader and things like that. So definitely it gives you that exposure, and I loved that exposure. Another thing is, we finally get to share our stories like how we are doing today.
Yes.
We get to hear other stories which we can relate to, and this definitely keeps me motivated, that yes, there is a better day, there is a better opportunity, there is a better solution for a particular problem which is just around the corner. You should just keep moving.
Yes. So a bit of curiosity,
Yes.
a mind to learn new things, and this confidence